Hey everybody, it's Anna. Welcome to the Thursday card in this week's tarot story. So today we have a major arcana card, so it's a life lesson, and it is Death Reversed. So people often get nervous when they see the Death card because they take it literally. But as is true in the tarot and is true in most spiritual teachings, death really marks a transition from old life to new life. You put the old life in the grave so a new life can be resurrected. And I think that's definitely true in this life lesson that the Death card brings to us. So the image shows a skeleton knight coming into town. There's a few people that are a little bit nervous. One person's already on the ground when he comes in, and that's an authority figure. We know that because there's a crown that's fallen off this guy's head. So this is an authority is being killed off or being released, right? So some old authority we're letting go of. There's also a figure which I've kind of ignored until just now, and he's standing right there, and he's a priest figure. So when I see a priest in the tarot, I connected to the Hierophant very naturally. The Hierophant's another major arcana card that is the energy that helps us shift from a private life into a public life, helps us make our way in the world, offering the gift we're here to bring to the world. So it helps us find our way in the larger community in the way we're intended to be gifted. So I think of the priest as a very friendly figure. It helps us move forward, right? So the old authority is being knocked down. The priest is reaching out to the skeleton knight, basically saying, yes, I'm here to help. And I think this tells us that we are letting go of an old authority, an old set of rules, an old set of expectations that don't match us. And we're finally in a position where we can tell they don't match us, right? They're in the way of our being on the planet the way we're supposed to be. And so we knock down that guy and we come to the Hierophant. We return to the Hierophant, who then helps us become our own authority. You're here to do something very specific on the planet, and there's a certain kind of structure that supports that. And it's usually a structure you have to come up with yourself. It's not a structure that other people can give you. And at least for the first part of our lives, most of us try to make our lives work in accordance with other people's structures. I think that's normal. That's a regular part of kind of the journey of life. But at some point you realize their structures don't work for you, and you have to now knock them down and kind of embrace your own inner authority. So this card came to us reversed, and that tells me that maybe we're a little bit stuck in someone else's version of authority. And the reason I think that way is because yesterday's card was the Nine of Wands. And I talked about how the nine calls us to a moment of pause, right? To like give ourselves a chance to integrate, to rest and integrate. That's the best word, because really when you're in a spiritual path, right, you take action and there's a time of learning. The learning happens when you're not taking action. It's when you're resting. So when you're resting, you kind of figure things out, you settle in. And I think also when you're resting, the universe is now taking action on your behalf. So there's this sort of give and take with the universe as well. But the resting is really, really important, because if you don't rest, then you never really get a chance to get strong in what you're doing, and you get weaker and weaker. As you keep skipping your rest, you get weaker and weaker. Now, resting is not something that is included in most worldly structures. We live in a world, or at least I live in a world, that's very performance-based and very action-based, which is, you do A, you do B, you do C, right? It's just a very clear path. And so basically, if you're not moving, you're wasting time, you're being lazy, you're getting blocked. There's a lack of awareness in normal linear structures. There's a lack of awareness of that essential rest, which happens between each action step. So I think that when you're heart or body intuitive, which most people who follow me are, the integration is absolutely essential. The rest is essential, which is why your structural path will look different than somebody else's. They may be able to do the same thing every day and kind of keep a level of activity very consistent. But if you're not a person built for that kind of path, then you have to rest or you risk exhaustion. So we have to kind of release the authority that tells us you have to keep pushing. If you're sitting, you're wasting your time. If you're being lazy, you're being selfish. We have to get rid of that authority. It doesn't work for us. And it's in the way it's harassing us, which means even if you're resting, you're not really resting, because you're getting badgered in your mind by some voice telling you that you're not good enough. You got to work harder. So we have to kick out that voice, which is what is happening here. Kick out that authority and reach for the Hierophant, who knows how to help you find your actual integrity and how you move in the world, which often, I would say almost always, I'll say always, includes that need for rest and integration. Now, that integration might look different for different people, but there's always a need to have that balance point. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to perform, at least not consistently, or in the long run. You're not going to be able to perform in the blessing you are here to be in the world. That's my card for today. See you tomorrow for our next one. Bye.